Hey, hey, hey. Time for another out of this world story from our space. I, dirty male, just found out my girlfriend, 28, of a year plus, had a whole life I knew nothing about, right as I was ring shopping. Advice? I have been dating the most amazing woman for the past year and a half. I have been in puppy love before, the kind where they're all you can think about, and you smile when you think of them. And we have that too, but she has also brought me the joy of being together but not together. That magnificent way you can just be and be alone in the same room, for reading a book, me doing a project, and really knowing someone, knowing how her mouth crinkles when she thinks, the way the rain makes her feel, all the stories of her childhood, all the little stuff that makes her a person. At least, I thought I did. I was shopping for a ring, and had been dropping hints that made her smile, and we would plan this little suburban life, a deck with a grill, a goofy puppy, a piano. We talk about baby names and vetoed ones. We have the joke names, Trevor and Trevina. We'd picked out pink colors and flooring at Lowe's and giggled like idiots. I was 100% confident. I just hadn't chosen a ring, you know? She didn't want a diamond, but didn't know what she does want. Then, I got a Facebook message today from some guy. He said that he was her brother-in-law, and that she had blocked him on Facebook, but could I please pass along a wedding invite, and it would mean a lot if she was there. I pressed for more details, and it all came out. She was married before to a guy named Brendan, and they had a little boy, Sam. She told me before she didn't like that name. The son died in a car accident, and afterwards, they had an ugly divorce, and she cut ties. 5 years of her life, I never knew about, and I don't know if I ever would have. I think she was never going to tell me. I've felt sick about this all day. Made up an imaginary sickness to sit and think by myself, and I feel paralyzed by it. This morning I knew her, and now I don't. I don't even know how to bring this up or what. I definitely can't go buy the ring and pretend. At the same time, I want to be with her. I am hurt, but know that was horrible. That she went through something unimaginable, but I don't know what that means for us. Am I just a distraction? Is this something she does? I don't know. Help? The poster asks for help, so let's see what the community says. Tia Baby starts us off. You need to talk to her. Keep in mind that when a parent loses a child, everyone they know, close and distant, will feel sorry or pity for them. Maybe you're the one person in her life who doesn't look at her with pity in their eyes, doesn't skirt around certain issues. Like it or not, occurrences forever alter how we interact with people, and for once, she just wanted something normal, something she had before the loss of everything. She could have also had bad reactions from past partners when she told them this, and she didn't want to jeopardize what you had. Then, the longer she left it, the harder it became to bring it up. There's also the third option that she's denying it ever happened, even to herself. It's a known coping mechanism. If that is the one she is using, then it will eventually catch up with her. You can never outrun your past, as you're seeing now. It's not right to lie for so long to someone you plan to spend the rest of your life with, but in this case, it is understandable. No one can understand how it feels to lose a child unless you have lost one yourself. Be kind when you raise the issue. Don't allow any temper into the conversation, and allow her to get it out as she needs to. Please don't force her to answer all your questions unless she is okay to do so. Street Flasher has one quick thing to say before we move on to the update. Just to add on, please allow her to have any reaction she wants. If she wants to cry, scream, pack her bags to clear her head, I would let her. You have to be the calm one because it's both of your worlds that just flipped upside down. Because you're confronting her about it, as she isn't bringing it up, means that she still isn't ready to A, admit it, B, admit it to you. That's okay, but if you force her hand, you have to be really gentle and as understanding as possible. I know you're hurt, but imagine how hard this all was for her. She lost her baby. Okay, on to the update. I spoke to her the day after. She told me she had wanted to tell me for a while, but didn't know where to start. That she thought about Sam every day, but at the same time, didn't know how to begin. She pulled out a shoebox from her closet, and she showed me the pictures. Pictures of her wedding, this propped-up little thing at the courthouse, her in a short white dress with a slight stomach, her husband, this cocky-smiled kid with this shaggy blonde hair. Then the baby, Sam. Pictures from a red-faced baby to this little 4-year-old person. Birthdays and Christmases, and pictures of the three of them, a family. She talked about Brendan, how they came from these racially different backgrounds, and she barely knew him as a person before he was a father and a husband. They'd only been dating 3 months when she got pregnant. They were 20. Then she talked about Sam, her baby. She kept saying he was the best thing that ever happened to her. Hearing that broke my heart. She talked about how his hair cowlicked in 3 different spots and how he was always singing or humming, that he loved to climb. She told me his favorite movie and Buck. She made him a person to me. Then she told me how they lost him. Some kid ran a red light and then he was gone. She barely remembers the funeral because she was so heavily medicated. But the worst part was after. Going home and him not being there. How she'd walk past his room and expect to hear him playing, waking up and forgetting for a minute he was gone. Their marriage had never been good, and they turned on each other. He blamed her because she had fastened the booster seat on that side of the car. She blamed him because he had been driving. They were divorced within a year after the accident. Brendan had a new child within 2. She had spent the time doing overload on classes and working, keeping busy because it made things easier. She didn't see her old friends because they drifted away. They never knew what to say. And they mostly had kids of their own. She was surviving. But seeing Sam's brother, who looked so much like Sam, hurt so much that she decided she had to get away and stop wallowing. She took the pictures down, donated clothes and toys, deleted her Facebook, and stopped seeing the old friends who weren't really friends anymore. She said she chose to keep breathing because that was what it had come down to. Then she met me, and she said I made her want a fresh start, a better marriage, and more children, because she loved me. We talked for hours. She cried, and I cried for her. I still love her, maybe more now because I feel like she opened up to me so much. It's hard to imagine her married, with a son, toys on the floor, and pictures on the fridge. It's hard because, in a lot of ways, it's the life I've been imagining with her. I still plan on marrying this woman. She's the love of my life. And let's get a reaction from the community before we move on to the next story. Xing Dao says, I think it's great that you're moving ahead and want to build a life and family together. The proverbial new start, if you will. Here's the issue, though. You never get over the loss of the child. Never, ever. I'm sure if you reflected back over the past 18 months, there are most certainly signs from your fiancé indicating the loss and emotional trauma that you were probably at a loss to explain at the time. Apart from medication, I don't know if your girlfriend went through any counseling or therapy at the time of her son's death, but I highly recommend that she and you consider it now. This is not something you can get through on your own, nor can you suppress it by deleting Facebook accounts. It's always there, just beneath the veneer, ready to surface, and will almost certainly affect her, and you, when you marry and decide to have children of your own. Best of luck to you. Moving on. My girlfriend cheated on me 5 times, but says she loves me and still wants to be with me. This month would mark 3.5 years since my girlfriend and I would have been together. I broke up with her yesterday and feel terrible. Reason being, she cheated on me 5 times in the 2.5 years that we had been together. We lived together for 1 year, and for the entire year, she had another boyfriend. When I found this out, I packed my things and moved out. She begged me to give her another chance. Told me that she didn't cheat, it was black magic that made her do it the 5th time. I loved her very much, so the past year, I've tried to move past her infidelities, lies, etc. But I grew resentful towards her, and in turn, she tried to paint me as the bad guy. I knew in my heart that something had changed the 5th time I caught her cheating. I grew weary, and I would no longer express to her how I felt. I stopped doing a lot of things I had been doing. We fought often because I did not want to have sex with her. Even though she cheated on me, she could not understand how I felt, telling me that I'm not an understanding person, that was the old her, and that I'm not even trying to see who she is now. The 4 previous times she had cheated, I do not know to what extent. I've seen dirty text messages, but I don't expect her to tell me the truth, as she lied about the 5th guy. But I saw text messages and intimate photos of them. Even when I found out about him, she denied it, telling me that she would never cheat on me and how I'm making her look like a bad person, and that she's changed, until I showed her the proof. What hurts the most is that I literally gave this girl everything I had, and she knew it too, because the 5th time I caught her cheating, like I mentioned, I stopped many of these things. I was a great girlfriend to her, 100% faithful. I was always there for her, constantly showing her love and affection. Looking back, she treated me like complete rubbish. When we moved in together, She told me that my dog, that I've had for 13 years of my life, could not move in with us because she didn't want it there in the house. That broke me, but I chose her over my dog. It's never been about material things to me, but when I met her, she had been using the bus to go to work, and at the time I bought a 3-year-old Audi Coupe that I gave to her, and I had been driving a 96 beater car. I later found out that she would have the guy she cheated on me with in that car. She made no mention of me, flaunted that she was an independent woman who had been living alone and bought that nice car. Meanwhile, I had been working 3 jobs, triple shifts the year that we moved in together, all so that I could afford her a $10,000 ring, which I did buy. The worst part was that even though for months she was hinting, literally, that she wanted us to get engaged, when she found out about the $10K ring, long story, she didn't want to get married. During this time, she had the same boyfriend and had put his ring on her finger, taking photos for social media. I had no idea about any of this. I cry writing this because I love her so much, but I felt so unhappy the past year being with her and trying to see past all of this, only to have her call me the bad guy. She has even tried to tell me that the other time she cheated was because when we fought, which was because of her infidelities, then me ignoring, at times I would just turn my phone off for a few hours to think to myself. Sometimes it's how I cope. Instead of saying mean things, I'd rather not. Her caused her to cheat. I'm not understanding this at all because I'm not a bad person and I know that I did not deserve to be cheated on. But how can she say she loves me and hold that against me for her cheating? I loved her so much. My question is, how do I accept that it's over? I keep thinking that it's just a dream. I keep thinking that we are still together and that this will all just pass. I know deep down I can't stay with her. I know it isn't healthy and she'll do it again. But she was my best friend, the person I spoke to every day. I feel bad because she does regret what she does. I can hear it in her voice. Full disclosure, I'm a lesbian. My girlfriend also claimed that she is a lesbian, but she has only cheated on me with men.